Dorito. I don't think you understand. The jalapeno chips that I tried the other night have really changed my life. I am so into these jalapeno chips, and I can't believe I never have had them before. They literally changed my life forever. You have changed my life forever. So I've been watching the VODs, and the sound quality is pretty bad. So if you hear... Is this a good minimum? Because honestly, usually my games are really loud, but I don't know. For whatever reason, this game is really loud. So just let me know the levels are good. I would appreciate it if you do. There were Cape Cod chips. Hi, Bev. Hey, House. Jalapeno chip cosplay. Yes, so true. I forget what part we're at. I'm just being glam and pretty today, but I honestly thought it kind of went with, like, the Disney vibe. It gives me very, like, I don't know, I feel like this, if I went to, like, a clothes store in Disney, I could buy something that looks like this. I have no idea. I just want it to be pretty. I was gonna do Goofy, and I was gonna find the Goofy hat, but, you know, I could not. My camera quality looks weird when I do green. So I didn't want to wear green today, so I'll figure out what we do for Goofy. It's the hair I drew. Oh yes, it's hanging in my bedroom. And almost got sucked up by my fan the other day. Funny story, Mia. I was putting my fan on and it almost sucked up your picture and I was like, ah! Hi Beth, hi Savannah, happy to see you both. Thank you so much. Everybody, thank you so much for coming out tonight. We're playing Kingdom Hearts right now. We're approaching the halfway point, maybe 70% point of this game. We have a couple worlds left. This game is pretty quick, but 2 and 3 are pretty lengthy. But we are gonna play all the games. And I do have some looks planned by some special Disney characters. Sorry, the Moogle just walking is sending me. Girl boss moment. Ready, watch him strut. He's gonna girl boss it up. Oh! Fuck it up! Fuck it up! Fuck it up! They are really expensive on PC, but if you get like, I don't have it on my desk anymore, but mine are, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, no, this has 1, 2, and then all the side series in it. So it's really cheap for like 20 bucks. I'm not playing Chain of Memories. I'm only doing 1, 2, and 3. No, I'm not. The only one that maybe we will, maybe we won't. I honestly just want to get the main editions in the series in for people that haven't seen it. Because I know like people like Marshall, probably Mia, Bev, like no one's seen this game before. So I honestly love introducing new games like this to some people. So I want to get 1, 2, and 3 done. And then we can eventually move on if we would like. The only one that I'm really, really interested in doing... Mia! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh wait, okay, we're good. I thought I had followers only chat on. Hi everybody! Mia, thank you so much. Good morning, poor. Did you really have the raid message be good morning, poor? I can't stand you. I love you. I love you so much, Mia. Everybody, if you do not know who Mia is, they are a Pokemon, like, amazing drag queen, sort of in my area, so please follow them. I definitely want to go to one of their shows soon so I can take a cute little selfie because I love them so much. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all for so much of the follow-os. Sorry, I just started stream, so trying to wake up a little bit. But today we're playing Kingdom Hearts, and we're gonna walk away from this. Celestor, Sissy, Ryan, Sloth, Spoopy, Kat, thank you all so much. I know everybody here is a Pokemon fan. If you would like, you know, Mia, you should play this game too. You should play Poke Park. It's for the Wii. I played it on my YouTube channel. You can go over to my YouTube channel if you like that game, Pokemon fans. You should play that. I would love to see you play Pokepark. Favorite Keyblade? I am not a big nerd on this game. Like, I don't know, like, what Keyblades are what. Are these the Keyblades? Like, you get them from different kingdoms? I never knew that. Every time I play the game, I only use the regular one. Oh, God. Is this the Bidoof video again? It is. 1 minute. We'll vibe with this. Hold on. 39. This is day 2 of this. Iconic. I'm saying, where's the Slowpoke one? I want the Slowpoke one. Sublime, thank you so much for the follow. Oh, here he goes. You better sing that note. Don't you have a Bidoof outfit? Oh. Show that dumpy. Where's the dumpy? There's the dumpy. I want to play more Pokemon Go. Like, walk around and get some Pokemon. I love that for you. I don't have any Slowpoke looks. I want one. Oh, thank you for resubscribing, Mia. I appreciate it. So much. I'm drinking some wine tonight. I think I'm a wine mom now. This is my wine era. And it just spilled all over my dress, but it's okay. The lyrics on the screen and I don't even know what the lyrics are. Anybody just coming in off of Mia's stream? Oh god. I am Nemesis. I run the network around here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm in full drag every stream. I'm a variety retro streamer, so we're currently playing Kingdom Hearts and a bunch of Scooby-Doo games, so I'd love to have you when Mia isn't live. Might work out too, because Mia's usually streaming in the morning, I'm streaming in the night. I come in and Nem's holding another glass of wine. I'm loving my wine era. Thank you, Alpa. Oh my god, I'm sweating. It's hot already. Pumpkaboo! I love Pumpkaboo! Well, yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts came out in like... Well, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2006. Right? Just aged me. Please! Why does everybody drag me? Also, hi Molly, how are you doing? Happy to see you. But it was for the PS2, right? No, you didn't. 10 hours and 4,000, almost 5,000 for... That is crazy. I would say PS2 is retro. But when I mean, I'm a variety retro streamer, I usually play a lot of Nintendo 64, Wii, and GameCube. 20 years next year. Now, I did think it was very interesting that, during the Square Enix presentation at E3, we didn't get anything for Kingdom Hearts. I thought it was very bizarre. Because what, 20 years next year? I mean, when else are they gonna do it? I thrifted a couch today. Oh my god, I can't wait to see. That is so exciting. I'm trying to go to the store to get some furniture, but my family is just so busy, I guess, for no reason. That's the year I graduated high school. Oh my gosh. I graduated high school. My sister just graduated high school. My boy Donald looking fly as hell. Yes, we actually did a Donald cosplay yesterday or the day before. So we need to go somewhere. We'll go here. Oh, we can't. Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna warp to Monstro, and then we'll go from there. But thank you all so much for the raid again, Mia. Thank you so much for the raid of 144. That really means the world. If you're coming in, make sure you refresh the stream, so it helps with numbers and engagement. But no worries if you don't want to. Just laying in your bed, you don't want to get up. I don't really care. E3 flopped. It sure did. PS3 is retro. I want to get a GameCube. Like, I want to get, like, an original GameCube. I don't want... Oh. I was thinking maybe I should get a Wii, because I have a Wii U, and I run all of my retro games on that. I was like, maybe I could get a GameCube, maybe a Wii. We play a lot of GameCube games here. It's honestly iconic. I love GameCube games. There's a game for PS3 that's one of my favorite games ever, and I want to play it on stream. It's called Scalar. It's just like another, it was of the era of retro platforming games. So I want to play it. It was about this like sexy lizard guy. Shocker, me being interested in a lizard. Shocker. Honestly, probably. I mean, I don't, you know, dive into that, but I do think a lot of lizard people are sexy. How can you look at Killer Croc and not think he's sexy, huh? Tell me that. Riddle me that, Batman. See? I made a Batman joke and didn't even mean it. Love this mug. Thank you. I wanted to paint more draggy today. I usually don't paint, like, really big shapes, so I really tried to do something different. I don't know if it looks entirely different, but hi Dinah. Oh, 15 months. That's almost our second. Under the sea. Under the sea. That's almost 2 kids. Oh my goodness. We're working on our second baby. Oh. Can this stop spilling on me? That's what I'm saying, Mercy. Ugh. Alright, we're going under the sea. Tina Burner account. I love that. Hi, Tina Burner's account. We're going under the sea. I'm gonna get copywritten. It's okay. Did you get banned? Lee going undercover. Oh! I really don't remember him being shirtless. But go off, King. No way.
Come on, Sebastian.
Flounder!
Wait, slow down. Don't leave me behind.
I'm gonna get copywritten.
Oh, relax, Sebastian. They don't look like one of them.
No way. The way I saw you type that in the chat too.
Something weird about them. What do you mean? They do seem a little different. Where are you from?
Yes, Ariel. Oh, we're kind of matching. I didn't mean to do this today.
And we're not really used to these waters.
Goofy as a turtle is sending me so far.
No, I see. In that case, Sebastian can.
Sexy Donald. Donald, like, buff, like, beefy jock right now. Well, he's kind of like a twink, but, like, he's dressed as if he was, like, a jock. He's behind me. Hey, Donald. This world sucks. Because I have to be underwater Look at Donald! Look at them stare at me. They're like, what the fuck are we doing here? Any quackers in the chat? Quackies. Not that way, huh? Look at Flounder. Not quack me, daddy. Hi, Mexican Flyer. Oh, we have to catch Flounder. Hey, bestie. Okay, circle is up, square is down. Circle is up, square is down. Circle is up, square is down. Make a nice jingle out of that. This whole video is gonna get muted because the Under the Sea background music. It's over. I'm done. I was done. Where is Flounder? Bestie? Oh.
Good job. Now let's move on to self-defense.
Sebastian!
Huh? Oh! I don't like the designs in this world. They look weird.
Class is over. Good luck.
Ariel said, I'm out of here. Oh, no one wanted to go with the Ariel? I mean, the combat's pretty linear. Oh, I have to sneeze. I feel like I just gave birth. Thank you, Swoopy. Thank you, Starring. Hey, Ariel. Can I? You can't even turn off the music in this game. Please! Because in this world we get transformed into... Because essentially, like, what's supposed to happen in Kingdom Hearts... So Mia asks why Donald has tentacles. In Kingdom Hearts, you're really supposed to, like, fit in with the world. Like, you're not... We can travel to different worlds, but the people in the worlds aren't gonna be like, oh my god, I can go to somewhere else. They're supposed to, like... We're supposed to essentially be, like, if we were characters in the specific movie. So, like, sometimes they'll have different costumes or change appearance. So it looks like they're in whatever film it is. Oh my god, you showered quick, bestie. Thank you. I was trying to just have fun with makeup today. I was like, I'll do my makeup and then I'll find an outfit to match. Because usually I'm like, I have an outfit, I'll match it with the makeup. But I tried doing it the other way around. Where do we have to go? What, Ariel? Oh my god. You poor thing. Honestly, I give you so much props for shiny hunting all the time. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. When I did the Slowpoke one for a Galarian Slowpoke shiny, it was hell. It definitely is fun to watch. Oh. I think we're gonna switch Ariel with well, no, Donald looks good in this world. We'll keep Donald in. Sorry, Goofy. I don't want to keep keeping you out, but... Atlantica. Wait, what? What? At Iantia? Oh, it says Atlantica, but the L looked like an I. Oh my god, guess what? I'm going to the eye doctor soon. Who else cheered? Who else cheered? I'm going to the eye doctor very soon. For anybody new that's here, I do not wear my glasses in drag, so it is very hard for me to see things or do anything in drag. I'm shaking and crying, please. I'm very nervous though. I would say out of Out of all of the doctors there are, I'm not scared of regular doctors, like ones you get prescriptions from, but I'm scared of like dentists and eye doctors the most. I would say. I definitely do have a fear of doctors though. Like I hate doctors. No offense to any doctors in the chat. I'm gonna cry. Do you not like lemonade? I mean, I know that feeling of like, I want food now. We're starting to talk about food again. I start shivering, shaking, and crying. I want food so bad. I'm gonna eat those jalapeno chips again on stream and no one can stop me. Why is this guy just standing here? Okay, I stand there. Please, Serena. If you're a doctor in the chat. Yeah, I had a dentist appointment for like a couple weeks ago and then I canceled it. And I'm not saying it's my proudest moment, but literally last time when I went, the doctor, what the fuck are they? Dentist, she was like scared with how much blood was coming out of my mouth. And she's like, yeah, you're fine. And like going crazy trying to like stop all the blood. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm fine, right? Yeah. Guess what, too? I tried a new food place in my area yesterday. Oh, their food is so good. I could fuck it up right now. I mean, I could order from them right now. They're open until 12 o'clock, which is, like, honestly served. I also didn't realize that I can just go to bars now. Like, it doesn't feel real to me that I could just go to a bar if I wanted to. Like, there's a bar right across from my house I could just go and, like, get food and drink. I don't even know what I want. You should get french fries. French fries. Ooh, so I want to try sushi. I think I'm going to do a mukbang for my YouTube channel of me trying sushi and Chinese food for the first time. Because I've never had them before. Oh!
That was too close. As long as I have my trident, I will not tolerate those creatures inside this palace.
Would you fuck him? I would.
Oh, Ariel, when
I would.
wasn't it dangerous
Oh, and I
out
would.
there? Strange creatures lurk outside.
I would. Tina burner account.
You swim before
Wait, that's so funny. I just realized Tina burner account, Tina burn.
right on.
You have the mind of a master.
Who are they?
They helped us fight off those creatures.
They don't look familiar.
We're from an ocean very far away.
Yup, we came to find the keyhole.
The what?
What's that?
He said, "You wanna play with my hole?"
There's no such thing.
Huh?
sir,
You what?
here.
But Daddy...
Ariel, not another word. You are not to leave the palace. Is that clear?
I'm just a keyhole. You're not to leave the palace. Leaves the palace. So true. Thank you.
Perhaps I'm being too strict.
I need more styled wigs so I can do drags more. Because I feel like when I do like my makeup, it's not like drag. It's just kind of like me
Of course, Your
Ex-
Majesty.
exhibiting,
I must admit, now I'm quite curious
exhibiting my.
about this
How is the word?
That
just
need
feeling
not
my gender
concern
expression.
You, Sebastian.
Expressing.
Have you anything to report?
Just as you suspected, Your Majesty, they seem to be coming from Ursula's grotto.
Oh my god. We're starting out today's stream with Ursula's boss fight. Today's gonna be rough, bitch. Today's gonna be rough.
Yes, she poses serious danger.
Ursula is the point that everybody quits this game. Like, literally, done. I'm done.
Did I not?
Your Majesty. Please,
Hi, Uncle Coven. How are you doing? So where are we going? Who created that wig? It was Assassination here in Providence. They're currently not taking commissions because they unfortunately broke their foot. But they are taking followers, so you should go follow them. But yeah, they are unfortunately out of commission because they hurt their foot. But they did this a while ago. They do all my styled wigs. Which I have, what, 4? Asa's an amazing artist. They are just so, when I tell you, so, I can't even put words to it. Their mind is just so huge. Hi, Pussy. Pussy on fire. You're so lucky, lucky. Let's mix lyrics. I don't know any of the lyrics from the top 4. Except for Candy's. It's like, the news is back. Top 4 on the track. I don't even know Candy's, never mind. I thought I did. I know the tunes of everybody's. Wait, look at this dolphin! Hey, bestie. Oh, I went the wrong way. Of course, thank you for the Larkins. Thank you so much for the raid, Mia. Where are we going? Where are we going, dolphin bestie? Oh, grab on. Oh my god! Was this even worth it? Like, what are we doing? Oh, it's just to get around the area, I guess. Okay. Where's Ursula's grotto? Ursula, bestie. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just like floating around. Where is Divine? Where is Queen? This video is gonna get muted! I'm gonna be so upset. Stop singing Under the Sea. I'm just trying to play a video game. Can I not get copyright striked? Well, if I mute the game audio, this entire world's gonna be quiet. But also, like... Oh my god. Yeah, but that's boring. Just sitting here in the quiet. No, I can't. I tried muting the, what's it called? No, you're just gonna listen to quiet, so. This is what you wanted. We'll sing Under the Sea. Under the sea! Down where it's wetter, it's so much better. Under the sea. Ba-ba-ba-bum. Bum-bum-bum-bum. Under the sea, in my pussy. Under the sea. Yeah, everybody look up Atlantica's soundtrack and play it. That was so powerful. Academy Award. Yeah, literally, not to be rude, but no, I'm not gonna say that because they're gonna find my video and take me down forever. So, you know what? Someone in chat can say it. No, everybody be nasty in the chat. Everybody be nasty. Actually, everybody be very kind to DCMA. They are great people and do great work at their jobs. So true. Oh, I'm gonna die. I will not welcome DCMA to the stage. I will be booing. Ursula, where is your home, Miss Ma'am? Do you mind? Where is Ursula? Make yourself known. Reveal yourself! Ursula does a split like Laganja. We should place bets on how long it's gonna take for someone to come in and say the game is muted, please. The way I already know it's gonna be muted because of the audio. Like, I already know. But, oh, this is Ursula's grotto. This is literally Ursula's grotto. Where is she at? Hi, Annabelle Lecter. How are you doing? I'm so happy to see you doing drag on Twitch more. Happy to see you. How are you doing? Undersea Garden? No, that's where the eels are. I did buy a certain product for a certain cosplay of a certain character in this certain game for the finale of this game. It's basically the same thing, please. Oh, I hope you're enjoying. I hope you're really enjoying. I honestly, yeah, I'm trying to upload the VODs to YouTube so if anybody misses them, they can catch up because I want everybody to be aware of what's going on when we're streaming. Because sometimes it's hard when you're playing a story-based game on stream because some people fall behind, some people have stuff to do. But I hope you're enjoying. We're going to be playing all of them. Just finished. Oh, awesome. I'll hopefully be able to check you out later. I don't know how long I'm going to be streaming for, though, so we'll see what happens. I think Ursula's grotto is in here. That wouldn't make sense. Anyways. I can beat up Triton. Now, wait a minute. Oh, no, I can't. Oh! Okay, wait a minute, though. Why can't I use third person anymore? I mean, first person. I remember they said I could in the beginning of the game, and now I just can't. He is fine. Arrow, move out of the way. He's my daddy now, bitch. Blank stare. He's done. Said you will never leave the palace. End scene. Never speak again. Wait, yeah, what is Donald's staff? It just has like a cowboy hat on it. Ursula! I think Ariel just died. You couldn't hear it though. She just went, "Someone please!" and I heard very gruesome noises. But I'm so sorry you can't hear those noises. Just play Ariel death noises on YouTube from Kingdom Hearts. Ariel death noise MP4. Thank you so much. I'm a voice actor. Can these, like, stop spawning? Like, out of my face. Take that. Yeah, watch out now. Hey Siri. Can you look up Kingdom Hearts 1 Atlantis map?
Okay, I found this on the web for Can You Look Up Kingdom Hearts 1 Atlantis map.
Thanks, bitch. That's a lot of text. After receiving a long, boring lecture from King Triton, swim across the palace to the undersea gorge. Ariel points the way to her hidden grotto. So I was right. So I've got nothing. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't remember anything from this world. I need to bust open the monster soon. It sucks there's no Dunkin' Donuts near my house anymore, so no caffeine for me. Karma's got its kiss for me. I don't think you understand how upset I am. I literally don't have a Dunkin' Donuts next to me anymore. Very New England things. I think I was correct in thinking that the undersea gorge is in here. The undersea gorge. Where are you, gorge? It was back there. Ursula, you bitch. Being in total control of herself. Ursula's a bitch. So true. A rock on the ground like Jesus's tomb? Huh? Can y'all, like, get a life? Get a hobby challenge. Just the no silence. Here, Ariel's going, Donald! And he'll Donald. And I go, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Oh. Oh, we can just do that. Okay. Look at all these wonderful things Flounder and I have collected. I think it's from all of the outside world. Someday, I'm going to see what's out there. I want to see other worlds. Does that sound strange? No, not at all. I used to feel the same way. Used to? I mean, I still do. Hey, why don't we try holding that keyhole? We're looking for that keyhole. He treats me like a little girl. He never wants me to do anything. He just doesn't understand. Sebastian standing like that was sending. Okay, yeah. Back to muted. Oh, never mind. The eels.
Those impudent fools will never find the keyhole. But the girl could prove useful.
Oh, yes, Nail.
I've got heartless on my side. Trident,
Oh, she got a
my
nail
old
on.
Friend. Your day is coming.
Sorry, it's not funny. The way she looked was sending. Stares at you. The cut to her mouth laughing for 3 bars and then just staring. I think it's in here. It's not. Where is it? Hi. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Please, everybody, I'm begging. There's a lot of stomping going on upstairs. I'm probably gonna die. If I die, it'll be on the live. So true. Now that's a clippable moment. Now that's a Delta chair moment. Hello? Oh, it wants fire. Okay, well, you got in my way. Fucking annoying. Okay, well, it didn't hit, so... I swear on my life. You are so annoying. Get out of my way. See, I did it. Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay, well, I don't need it anyway, so get away from me. Let's go this way. Oh, it was the same. Okay. Not the calm depths. Me. The calm depths of my organs. Nope. I know there's one point you have to swim up this, and I think it's to get to Ariel. Oh wait, no, that's how you fight Ariel. Not Ariel, Ursula. Same name. Not posting my death on Nemesis out of context. So true, actually. Um, let's refer to the guide, shall we? Oh. We need to go find the dolphin. Where's the dolphin, bestie? Gotta follow this backwards. Yep, Zeno, not very excited about it. Okay. Do the Heartless ever, like, think of, you know, leaving me alone? Where's the dolphin? There it is. Please leave. I'm not here. I'm just following the dolphin. I'm a nice casual dolphin. Please leave me alone. Just kidding. Dolphins are kind of evil, I've heard. Like IRL. Oh, we did it! Thanks, dolphin, I guess. Oh? I don't like the looks of this. It's currently playing the under the sea audio still. What was that? Oh. Oh! That's not accurate. Sharks aren't mean IRL unless you are mean to them first, so... Stop painting sharks to be bad guys. Challenge. Is it out here? I'm actually scared. Please don't hurt me. It's so quiet, it's creepy. What is that thing? I don't know. Ew, ew, it's actually scaring me. I don't like this. It's so quiet. It's really gross. Who is attacking me? I hide under here. No! Go back to the creepy audio, because there was no music and it was good. Fucking fuck. Death to all of them. Oh! Oh my god, same. Speaking of food, god, the food I ordered last night was actually really good from this new place in my area. Like, the french fries, the chicken wasn't good. The chicken had like a weird, I'd want to say it tasted like it had sauce on it. It had a weird aftertaste. Ooh, Burger King slaps. Hi, Chow! Please, just die. Heartless, I can't. I just shot Ariel first. So true. Ariel's the tank. She's just like, I'm here for a good time. I'll take the hits. You look gorgeous. Thank you. Okay, let's put the trident in the thingy. Aha. Blank stare.
Ariel, you've disobeyed me again. I told you not to leave the palace.
Snitch, Sebastian.
Daddy, no!
Daddy, chill.
How could you?
That was just so out of pocket.
Young man, you're not from another ocean. You're from another world, aren't you?
Huh?
Then you must be
Yes!
the key bearer.
How did you know?
You may fool Ariel, but you can't fool me. You don't know your dorsal fin from your tail. As the key bearer, you must already know one must not meddle in the affairs of other worlds.
Of course I know that. But
You have violated this principle. The key bearer shatters peace and brings ruin.
Oh, Sora's not
Not
like
Hex
that.
Ruin.
I thank you for saving my daughter, but there is no room in my ocean for you or your key.
Uh-huh. Oh, already done.
My.
Uh-oh.
The poor child suffers such deep sorrow.
I want those chips. Ooh, they just sound so good right now.
What a pity. If only there was something we could do. Wait, maybe she can be of some help. Yes, maybe she can be of some help to you.
What are you talking about?
Oh, she would surely help you.
Is it
She'd
not-
make all your dreams come true.
Is it not a red flag? Oh. Oh my god. What is going on? You know, Ariel, this is the part you start running.
Dear, you're Ursula. Well, I was just wondering if...
It's all right. Helping others is what I live for. Let me guess. You wish to see other worlds. That shouldn't be too hard. After all, your new friends came from another world.
What?
But they had special help. That mysterious key. Now, cheer up, sweetie. You have something special, too.
Huh?
Now listen carefully.
Whatever that means. Ookie spooky. Where are we going? We're going up here. And we're going in the butt roo. Where is she? Maybe we should check her grotto. Wait, she was just there. I guess we'll go to the Atlantis. Hi, Maddie. Oh.
The keyhole they seek is somewhere in the palace. Now, my dear, if you can take me there without your daddy knowing,
I appear.
I can help you get to these other worlds you long for.
I smile. Ariel, no! What are you doing?
The trident is mine at last, and I couldn't have done it without your help, my dear.
Ursula, no! I didn't want this!
Why not?
What did you expect, girlfriend?
Following your dear daddy's orders.
I can't. She is way too gullible.
Yes, we had a deal, didn't we? Time for a little journey to the dark world of the Heartless. We cannot find the keyhole. The keyhole is not here. What?
What?
Why, we have company. I'm afraid you're a little late, handsome.
Oh. I'll drink to that.
Daddy!
The trident. We must get it back.
come on, let's go.
Everybody's got their nipples showing.
Wait. I'm going with you. My father is hurt and it's all my fault. I have to stop Ursula.
Where's Goofy's nipples?
That's right. I'm right behind you, Ariel.
Fuck you. Like, literally shut up. No offense, Sebastian, this is kind of all your fault, but I mean, go off, King. I never liked him either when I watched the movies when I was a kid. I was like, fuck off. Like, shut up. Mute. Oh my! Hi, oh my god. Hi, James. Oh my god, please. Where's her cauldron? Is it in here? Please stop hurting me. Oh, I know where it is. Never mind. Going to Fire Island tomorrow. Pray for you. I pray. Mask up. Can this thing, like, fuck off? These mushroom heartless are so cute. I love them. No thoughts, head empty. Just them. Donald Duck. Nipples out. What color would Donald Duck's nipples be? Yellow? Dark gray? What color are they? I need an investigative hypothesis. Research analysis. Not the mushroom wig. I start shaking and crying. Is this your first playthrough? No, I've played this a lot when I was a kid, but honestly, I quit after Ursula every time, so it'll probably be my first time beating Ursula if I can beat her. Dolphin, please. Sora saying, yeah, come on. Whoa. Oh my god. There's so many Heartless right here. I beg. Shouldn't that do a lot of damage if I'm using Thunder underwater? I feel like it should be an insta-kill. These do not look like Calantha at all, bestie. These are squids. Clamantha's not a squid. The Heartless thing trying to attack me. Don't I have to? I'm gonna go through here first. Oh. Please don't hurt me. Please. I'm not what you want. I think we have to do it. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Oh my god. Yeah, Jenny, I'm so sorry, bestie. Look away. Oh. Ow. Hi, Michael. Oh my god. Thank you for the lurk. Please. Just die. I think we need to kill the shark. I think it needs to be done. It only knocks it out? Oh my dear God. Wait, what is this area? Oh, yes. Oh my God. I didn't even know that was gonna happen or if I had to do that, but I did it. I did it. My mind, so huge. I'm semi-conscious. No worries. I have a guide pulled up for this because I got a little stuck. Oh, save point. Definitely need that because we're gonna die a lot in this boss fight. Thank you. I got this in New York when I was living in New York. Excuse me, pardon me, please don't hurt me. I'm begging, I don't want to die. Ursula, bestie, where you at? Oh my God, here it comes. Wait, why are we inside a dinosaur? Ew, those are scary. Oh, I found it. Ursula's lair. I didn't even mean to find her lair and I did it. I'm so smart sometimes.
Your time has come!
Oh, you better tell her. Oh, we have to strike our thing with magic. Oh God. Get her, gang! Fuck her up, Ariel! I don't have magic, so how am I supposed to kill her? Oh, interesting. How do I change targets? Oh, here we go. Oh God, I'm gonna die, huh? Well, if I could lock on to the heals, I could. Okay. I'm gonna die. Oh, thank you, Ariel. Oh God. me. Already annoying and it's only her first phase. This is gonna be fun. Yeah, get me some fucking wine for this. Does it matter what element you put in it? Because I thought it was supposed to be reflective of what it's glowing. Like if it's glowing yellow, it's supposed to be thunder, and if it's something else. I can't hit it. Oh, it's not Pride Month anymore. Gotta get rid of that command. Straight Pride, so true. Well, I wasn't a big fan of Pride Month anyway, because I'm not part of the LGBT, so... It's like, always during June, they're like, always like, so loud about it, you know? Like, why don't we get a month, you know? Thou must free. Not the Old Navy sale, please. So true. Get your jingle jammies. Yeah, my dogs hate the fireworks. Well. Y'all, can I get some EXP? Why is Ariel fucking him up like that? Jeez. Yeah, I forgot today's technically 4th of July. No, but like, tonight it will be the 4th of July. I think it's supposed to reflect the color. was really not what I wanted. Hey, I found out what I needed to do with just being gay. But it's hard because the magic like angles itself. So it's like, oh my god, what is that noise? Ariel does like the spin attack and it literally insta kills one of the eels. Do they have names? Like I never knew the names when I was a kid. It's like, yeah, those people. Look at it! Did you see that? She fucked it up. There we go. Oh, I did it! So that was the first phase. Get me some alcohol, because this is, I need it for this.
You'll pay for this!
Can I go back and save? Oh yeah, absolutely. She definitely is. Please. I would like to go save before we go into this fight. I also want to get chips. Have you released any new collectibles or merch items, perhaps? Tojiki Doll says. I have! They're available on NemesisNetwork.threadless.com. I released 2 new designs from 2 new YouTube series. If you want to go get them, you can get them now. And if you're a subscriber, you get a sick discount code on merch items. So true. So true, besties. I want to go get chips. I'm just going to grab a bag of chips. I want those jalapeno chips. They really slap. Oh! Oh my god! These chips have really changed my life. I feel like a different person now. Would anyone like a chip? I open wide. I like throw them into your mouth. Woo. Speaking of booties, so true, bestie. Okay, I'm gonna fuck up these chips so good. Hit the sexy music. Ooh. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. I got a canker from eating these the other day, but it's like, it's so worth it. That's a deal. Especially on cold, rainy days like it is today. Wait. Green Hedgehog, thank you for the follow. What do you mean it's clogged up? We can literally... Huh? Wait, am I really not supposed to go this way? What do you mean? Oh, I have to exit her cave? Ah. I think we're about to hit another cutscene, so... These chips go so hard. They're so good. Ah! Sorry, they're just so good. I... They're jalapeno Cape Cod chips. They're fucking so good. Cape Cod, please sponsor me. I'll eat these chips every day. Whoa!
You pathetic fools! I rule the seas now. The sea.
Who's ready to have a horrible fucking time?
Bow to my power!
At least I got these chips, baby. Okay. Game time. Let's do this first try. Okay. Please, Sajiki doll. Sorry, my mouth's on fire from the chips. But it feels so good, baby! I've never felt more alive. Okay. Okay. I just read some tips for this battle.
Not so fast. Get ready for this. Get ready for this.
Gotta get the back of her neck! Get the back of her neck. Her kitchen's showing. It's a wig. Grab her wig! Pull it off! Oh, didn't want to do that. Oops. Oh wait, that was good. I stopped her in her tracks. How do you get more mana? Oh, well, I don't have any, so that's lovely. No! I was so close my first try! Did you see how close we were? Fuck. How do we get ethers? Oh. You only have one? Okay. I think we can do it. Oh, they're so hot, but so good. If I use a power up, a defense up and stuff, can I use it now and then go into the battle? And it'll still be present? Perfect. That's what I wanted to do. We got you, bitch. It's over for you, Ursula, bitch. I never do this in video games. I never gear up, I never do this shit. I'm confident we won't die. What's wrong with being confident? Oh! I just gave Donald something when I didn't do that. The item ups have permanent boosts, so if I use them all, then I'll... I never knew that. Okay. The more you know. Oh, it's over for this bitch. It's done! You're done! You are done, Ariel, bitch! Done. How do I use the shortcut? So if I... Oh, okay. So I hit the LB button, and then I can cure. Okay. I'm ready. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. I'm ready.
You pathetic fools!
You're pathetic, bitch! I'm so sorry. You're actually kind of stunning, but in this video game, you're annoying. Let's go! Let's go!
The sea
Watch me die instantly. Oh, wait. Okay, we're good.
Not so fast. Get ready for this.
Can I get behind you? I need to snatch your wig.
Very tasty.
There we go.
Not so fast. Get ready for this.
Did we do it? Did we do it? Fall over dead, bitch. Fall over dead, bitch. Fall over dead, bitch. That's what I thought. So easy, like the easiest thing I've ever had to do in my life. So ease. GG, so ease. You beast. That's my first time ever beating Ursula. Ever. I usually quit after this part. But I could never beat Ariel. Ariel? Ursula. I don't know why I'm fucking their names up. I did. Now I'm the lip sync assassin. I'm reigning supreme. You're a winner, baby. Oh my god, where's my $20,000 donation? Oh my god. Wow, I'm proud of myself. Very proud. Fuck you, Ursula. I did it. Oh, I'm levitating. Cape Cod chips, my beloved. By the way, hi Kay.
Tell me,
Sorry, I was
Sora,
really focused.
Your world? What's it like?
Oh, about that. Sorry for lying to you.
It's okay. Besides, if you can travel to other worlds, maybe I can too. So many places I want to see. I know I'll get there someday. I'll find a way.
Sure.
Somehow. I'm sure of it.
Go off, queen.
Well, if you find it, do me a favor and leave me out of it.
Sebastian, you're so funny. Just kidding. Nobody laughed. Fuck you, ugly crab. Bitch. Sorry. That was kind of harsh. Anyways, I'm levitating. I remember hating Sebastian when I was a kid. Like, hating him. He's just an annoying crab snitch. Like, what characteristics do I like about that? Nothing. Maybe the crab, but... I want animated emotes so bad. Animated emotes, one day, my beloved. Follower emotes, one day, my beloved. Please. I never did theater. I was never a theater kid. Like, oh yeah, that's a thing. Am I supposed to be doing something else? Am I done here? I think I'm done here. We did what we could. We did. Oh dear. Is there supposed to be something right here? And down here? Or are they just shortcuts? guess we're gonna go all the way around. We're gonna do this one first, I guess. Hi, Bev Bestie. I didn't call, but hey. Oh, theater kid. So true. What's going on? A big ship? Huh? Oh! I think this is Peter Pan. Oh, my heart. I'm gonna start crying. I love Peter Pan. It's gonna ram us. Hold on tight. Oh my god. Neverland! Ah! Peter Pan was my first Disney movie I ever saw as a kid. And it was like the original that's like super like choppy with the animations.
I didn't think you'd come, Sora. Good to see you again.
The way he had no emotion in his face and he went,
Are they that important to you? More important than old
Biggie.
friends? Instead of worrying about them, you should be asking about her.
Oh, sorry, this is a moment.
That's right. While you were off goofing around, I finally found her.
Not so fast. No shenanigans aboard my vessel, boy.
Riku, why are you siding with the Heartless?
The Heartless obey me now, Sora.
I don't know if that's true.
No, I have nothing to fear.
Who's gonna tell him in
You're
Kingdom Hearts
stupid.
3?
Sooner or later they'll swallow your heart.
You're
Not a
stupid,
chance.
please.
My heart's too strong.
Riku.
I've picked up a few other tricks as well. Like this, for instance.
He just shits. I picked up a few tricks. Just shits his pants.
You can go see your friends now.
Ah!
Let's get underway already. And keep Sora away from Kairi until we're ready to land.
Okay, but like, what?
That scurvy brat thinks he can order me around.
What shall we do, Captain Hook?
Nothing. The hold is crawling with Heartless. Let them keep an eye on the brats.
But, Captain, you know who is also down...
Did you hear that, Smee? Oh, that dreadful sound.
I'm built like this guy on the left.
Captain?
I look like that.
Sure? Did I imagine it? Oh, my
Captain Hook is
poor
gay.
love.
He's I almost called him the F word on the live. I'm not gonna do that.
You don't say.
Yeah, it was definitely Kairi. I finally found her.
It's the inside your
Alright.
eyes.
Yep. Then let's go up and talk to her.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Okay, but first, how about dinner?
Oh, sorry.
That was funny.
How you doing there? Looking for a way out?
Peter Pan, my gay awakening. My gay
I'm
awakening
the
when I
answer
was a
to your
kid.
prayers.
Gay awakening. If you, first of all, if you didn't dress up as Peter Pan when you were a little, I don't know what needs to change in your life. Maybe we need to go back in time and make sure you get into one of those outfits with the tights. I thought I was the one in those tights. Like, I was like, oh, maybe I am a little fruity. But like, Peter Pan gay awakening. Like, so true.
Okay then, fine. Have it your way.
But you're stuck in here too, aren't you?
Huh. Nope, I'm just waiting for someone.
Who?
Tinkerbell, what took you so long?
And Tinkerbell too.
Great
Legend.
job. So you found Wendy?
Queen of Sass without saying a word.
Hold on. There was another girl there too?
I never realized they match outfits.
Are you crazy?
They're both wearing green
There's
with like
no
frills.
way I'm gonna leave Wendy there.
I want to do a Tinkerbell look. Oh, wait. Wait, that'd be so cute. Wait, donate now so I can get fairy wings and do Tinkerbell. I would literally cry. That's so cute. Oh!
Come on, Tink. Open up the door. I'm Peter Pan.
I'm Sora.
Okay, we're in this together, but only till we find Wendy.
We have to find Wendy! Death to all of them. Oh. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams. I have to pee. I'm gonna pee really fast. I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Maybe 3 because my basement is flooding because of the rainstorm, but you know. Wendy Williams. Wendy Williams. I really want to do a Tinkerbell look now. That'd be so cute. Excuse me. I forgot this entire, like, while you search around, the other Sora is, like, bothering you.
So, how come you can fly?
Anyone can fly. You want to try?
Yes, actually. Are we flying Delta?
Aw, haven't you cooled off yet, Tink? Just a little bit of pixie dust. There, now you can fly.
I'm not laughing. Hi, Miss May. You look amazing. Thank you.
Wendy's not one of the chosen ones.
There are 7.
This poor wine glass has so many lipstick stains on it.
Maleficent says
Poor girl.
Hoist anchor as soon as possible. Leave all the dead weight behind, including her.
After the trouble of capturing her? And why those 7? What is Maleficent planning anyway?
Who knows? As long as it means getting Kyrie's heart back, I couldn't care less.
You're wasting your time.
So you want to abandon Kyrie so you can get her heart?
I'll stake me
Alright.
on a hand it's lost forever.
I will find it, no matter what.
Captain?
What?
The prisoners have escaped. What's more, Peter Pan is with them.
Blast that Peter Pan. All right then. Bring the hostage to me cabin, Smee. Hop to it.
Something with Peter Pan in it. Oh, it was an old MMO that I played, and it had a Peter Pan level.
Peter? Peter Pan?
Yes, gown on Wendy. Hey, Wendy.
Please, hurry! The pirates are coming!
What? I'll be right up there. Just hold on.
Wendy?
Yes?
Is there another girl in there with you?
Oh, why, yes. But she seems to be asleep. She has
No, she's high as fuck.
Kyrie? Kyrie!
Kyrie is zooted. Her giant fucking clown shoes compared to Wendy's size 3 shoe. Sora, I don't mean to be rude, but why are you just like reaching your arm out and like she's literally passed out. Like you want to go up there and help her, or like maybe even get a little closer. You're just standing there like this. You look like a fucking clown, sir. God, I can't stand it. Please, very that. I'm excited for the Worlds in 3, honestly. I haven't played a lot of 2. But Monsters, Inc. and Toy Story are my favorite movies of all time, so, and those are both in 3. I'm excited for those. I'm not excited for anything left in this game because the last world, I think, or one of the last ones, is Nightmare Before Christmas, and we've been talking about it the last couple of streams, is that I have a huge fear of Nightmare Before Christmas, because stop motion films make me uncomfy, and I have bad, like, trauma with that movie, so. Oh, I got knocked down, okay. Oh my god, what if we play the Incredibles game? The Lego Incredibles game? Now that would be a serve. I do a Mrs. Incredible look. Oh, there's a thing up here.
Wendy, are you in there?
Lego's Incredible? Or Kingdom Hearts? Oh yeah, I remember that era of gaming. They were like, yeah, video game. On GameCube, whatever, whatever. Where am I supposed to, like, what is going on? I look up the world, this world tutorial. Oh, it's right there. Oh, wow, I'm looking at the original game, and this is such an upgrade from the original. Jeez. Like this remake they made. You can? I don't have to do it? I will be skipping it. Well, I don't... I should do it for the sake of the stream and people that want to see it. Which bestie is gonna hold my hand? Okay, I have to climb down something to find the captain's quarter. Trinities. This isn't the right way. Then go to the door immediately to the left. But this is not correct. These doors won't open. Fuck. Why can't we go in? Oh. Erg. I rise. I rise. Hi, Ava bestie. Peter introduces new mechanics of flight via pixie dust. After the cutscene, jump on the shelf at one of the ends of the rooms and there should be a hole with the netting above. Then enter the door immediately to the left where there's a save point with a green trinity on it. Climb up the ladder and then be revealed into the captain's cabin. There's no ladder in here. What ladder? Is this the ladder? That's not a ladder, Gorge. Wait, there's a ladder on the ceiling. How do we get that down? Oh, we have to use probably... Which is weird. Like, why do I have to swap out? How do I swap them out? Which is kind of weird that they make you do that, but I mean, I guess go off. Oh! Okay, Dumpy on Goofy. Gotcha. Donald already going up. He said, I'm out of here. have done that for us, Peter Pan, but I mean, go off, King.
Riku, wait!
So unnecessary.
Heal. Let's go.
Am I gonna use my summon? Let me summon Simba or the genie in here. Why is Peter Pan dead? No words. I like this outfit. Thanks, Ava. I've been trying to wear it for like a long time because like it's one of my favorite outfits too, but I always get my makeup on and I'm like, not the day for this outfit. I don't know. But today, I guess, was the ow day. Peter Pan and Donald dead again. Girl, seriously? I just used a potion on y'all. You couldn't wait a little... Oh my god. If I die right now, I swear my life. Sage, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We did it. We did it, Joe. Oh, it is raining today. I love a rainy day, but the vibes today were just off with the rain. We found more Dalmatians. Can I play the piano? Like a grand piano. Okay. Go up the ladder. There we go. Why is he stuck? Oh, please. Am I supposed to? I think I'm done with this world, right? Where do I go now? Oh! Well, that wasn't nice. Oh! Sorry, it's not funny. The way she was laying there.
Come on, Tim.
She said,
Not now. Well, this is as far as I can go. I gotta help Wendy.
poor Wendy. What did she do? Poor girl. I'm acting. Boop, boop. It was Cam. What is this giant dresser? Also, what are these ties on the wall? What are these? Go off, I guess. Are they scarves? Captain Hook, a little fruity. This world is really confusing. Running around this pirate ship, and you'd think it'd be easy. You'd think it would be easy because it's just a tiny little ship. I guess not. Like he's cruising me. Would you let Captain Hook hit it? Would you let him hit it? For the story. For the experience, just to see what it's like. Can I get off the boat? Like, can we get on the ship deck? Can we get on the poop deck? I want to go to the poop deck. What a confusing level. Like, how am I supposed to know this if I didn't pull up this walkthrough? I mean, kind of annoying if you ask me. You don't want the hook in the butt, Serena? Ho! The Poppers deck. So true, actually, Bestie. If it was only a reality. I keep asking my sister I'll buy her weed if she takes me to a store to get poppers, and if she takes me to Target to get something for my office. But she keeps ignoring me. What the heck? I will buy you weed. What do you mean? Okay, I need to, okay. Another door, another door, another club, another club. Another door, another club, another club. Plane, bus. Another door, another door. I'm so lost. I was so lost. I was so— oh, I found it. Eureka, we found it. Not the door I wanted to go in. Actually, it was. Donald. Donald, please. Don't look at me. Thank you. Jesus Christ. So hard to get through this door.
Quite a codfish, that Riku. Running off with that girl without even saying goodbye.
Captain Hook calling Riku a catfish.
Where? Tell me, where did he go?
To the ruins of Hollow Bastion, where Maleficent resides.
Hollow Bastion.
But you won't be going there.
Oh, Captain Hook is definitely fruity.
Unless you intend to leave your little pixie friend behind.
How did you just leave— Peter Pan, how did you just leave Tinkerbell behind? Like, she is the reason you can fly. Like, where did you take Wendy? Did you just go drown in the water with her?
Hand over the Keyblade and I'll spare your lives. Be glad I I'm merciful, unlike the Heartless. So, which will it be? The Keyblade or the plank?
I'll walk the plank.
It's him, the crocodile that took me hand. Oh, Shmee, he's after me other hand.
Please, I remember Shmee.
I can't stay
Shmee!
here. Go away! Oh, I can't stand the sight of him! Me! You take care of them!
I walk the plank. Oh, I'm about to dive.
Just believe, and you can do it.
Mouth wide open. He can fly! Oh! Snatched.
Thanks, Peter. Hey, don't mention it. You didn't
Not...
want me to leave you and Tinker.
Okay, I didn't realize Peter Pan's name is just Peter, but just calling him Peter Pan sounds so weird. Thanks, Peter. That was so weird, Sora. Don't call him Peter. Peter. Ugh. Can fly. Oh, so we can fly. I can fly! I can fly! He can fly! He can fly! Peter, don't turn me into marketable plushies. Peter! Where did Captain Hook go? Like, literally, where did he go? Oh my god. Peter Pan is dead. Peter. Oh my god. Girl, fuck off. Oh my god. Literally shut the fuck. Shut the fuck up. Right. Nemes Network. That video's so old. I like couldn't believe the people that were like in the replies like, oh my god, Nem, you didn't. And I'm like, this is so old. Please. Thunder, thunder. Can the enemies stop spawning? Oh my god, thank you, Jesus. So what now? Where is Captain Hook? Peter just standing there. Oh.
Is that you, Smee? Did you finish them off?
Aye, Captain. They walked the plank, every last one of them.
Peter Pan.
You just poked him in the butt with a knife.
Codfish. Now it's your turn to walk the plank.
Oh my. I bet Captain Hook liked a good sticking. Oh. Hey, bestie, I don't know why you're floating in the air, but go off, King. Oh. Is he alright? Literally, I'm like, why is he levitating? I'm levitating. Oh wow, ow, that hurt. What's he doing? Where did Smee go? Smee said, I'm out of here. Uh-oh. I used to have the biggest fear of that crocodile after watching Peter Pan. I was like, I'm gonna die to a crocodile. Like, that's what's gonna happen. No, wait, stop. I have to pee. I have to pee. I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm gonna pee my pants. I'm gonna pee my pants. I have to pee. I did a pee-pee. Oh my god, I'm so proud of myself. That's the first time I've gone pee-pee ever. Oh my god. No, I don't, Jewel.
Oh, Kyrie couldn't wake up, so maybe she's really lost her...
Oh.
Sora, I still can't believe it. I really flew. Wait till I tell Kyrie. I wonder if she'll believe me.
Oh, bitch, Sora was high.
You can bring her to Neverland sometime. Then she can try it herself.
If you believe, you can do anything, right?
No.
I'll find Kyrie. I know I will. There's so much I want to tell her about flying, the pirates, and everything else that's happened.
Four.
What's that, Tink? What about the clock tower? You say there's something there.
Huh? There's something in the clock tower. How did Wendy get there? Can we... Oh my god! I didn't think you actually could fall off. Hi, Wendy. Just don't give up, okay? Yeah, you never really realize until, like, after, or, like, I guess, like, in my adult life, I realized that all of this Like, a lot of kids' movies are based in different countries and continents. Like, Peter Pan is in the UK. Finding Nemo is in Australia. Like, I just thought they were all based in America, but they're not, so. Hi, Dana. So what now? So what now? So what now? I'm levitating! Yo, I want to be high that I feel like I can do this. Actually, no, not that. Because if you get high and feel like you can fly and jump off a building, you'll probably die. So, I take that back. I gotta go smack the clock. No, that's just nasty. I gotta go smack the clock, baby. You know I love to do that. Oh. You gonna smack it today. Thank you. That's very American for you to think so. Well, I don't want to get dragged, so that was just kind of rude. This is Neverland. With Peter Pan and Tinkerbell. How big is your claw? Excuse me. Big clock, can you please move? Hi, Chalora, bestie. What if I just fell? I'm falling. Oh, she fell. I was watching All Stars 4 and that clip came up and I was like laughing to myself. Oh. 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 Put your keyblade in the clock, Sora. Ding! Oh, I wanted a song to play. I'm not a big theater kid, but I want a nice musical tune to happen. Huh? What was that? God, they are some ugly fucking kids. Like, if I was their mother, I'd be like, yeah, go to the island every day and don't come back. I mean, that's what she did, but here we are. Oh, already done. Do you need some water? Do you need to breathe in the paper bag? Are you alright?
It was reckless to bring her here without at least using a vessel. Remember, relying too heavily on the dark powers could cost you your heart.
Hi, Jacob.
A castaway.
Castaway!
Though his
We
blood
are
changed,
castaways.
His heart did not. When we took the princess from his castle, he apparently followed her here through sheer force of will. But fear not. No harm will come to you.
They live near the island. They swim out to the
There is
island.
no match for
Whatever the
your
island was called. I forget the name of it.
My power?
Yes, the untapped power that lies within you. Now, child, it's time you
Riku, the power inside of you that has not come out yet is that you are a homosexual. Just come out and reach your full potential, King. So true. Happy Pride or Happy Wrath Month.
Peter, are you really going back to Neverland?
Afraid so. But we can see each other anytime. As long as you don't forget about Neverland, that is.
I never understood it. Do they like each other? Like, are they like a romantic thing, or...
Oh boy, she's getting steamed again. Do me a favor? Look after her for me, will ya?
What?
We get to bring Tinkerbell? Ah! We get to keep Tinkerbell! How fun! Of course, just let us know. I don't have the pronoun extension, but I usually just refer to everybody as their username because I don't really have anything to refer to, but I'm sorry if otherwise. I want to just use the spell. Oh no, I know how to do it. It's just recently I like reinstalled everything because my computer crashed, so I just have to re-add it. I'm sorry. Please. So I feel like it's not. I feel like it would be a disservice if we just skipped the Nightmare Before Christmas realm, because I feel like some people want to see it, so I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna be very happy that I'm doing it. I'm also gonna be very uncomfortable that I'm doing it, so. Me logging into Genshin and doing my dailies. I'm not gonna like doing it, but I'm gonna do it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I need it. I just like have never... No. I can't. Coraline World, I start shaking. Yeah, I have bad trauma with Nightmare Before Christmas. So... And stop motion films make me uncomfy. Oh my god, I remember that from Silent Hill. I want to play the Silent Hill games. I've never played them to completion. Like, I've played, like, this is my first time. I'm trying to drink my wine. Can I please? The controller is upside down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why is there a boss all of a sudden, please? So true. The Silent Hill game with the bunnies that are in Dead by Daylight, that one is scary. Also, the Silent Hill game that Cheryl's dad just dies. She's like, oh, okay. No, Tank, I have it, don't worry. I just haven't. Please. Dear God. I hate it here. Like, I actually hate it here. Dear God. Okay, the looks are cute. Wait, Goth Sora? So cute. How cute is that? That is so cute. Not redacted needles. Redacted needles. Does he actually have needles in his head? Oh my god, he does. Oh, he's like a mummy. What does Goofy look like? Goofy's like Frankenstein. Oh, you know what would have been so cute if the three of them, if instead of doing these like costumes, which I love their outfits in this, but it would have been so cute if they made them like, one of them a scary lion, one of them a scary scarecrow, and then one of them a scary Tin Man. That would have been so cute. Even though that has nothing to do with like, I'm just thinking of things in threes. Hey. All right.
And now, allow
Ew.
me to introduce the Master of Terror, the King of Nightmares, Jack Skellington!
Hate that man.
Bravo, Jack! Bravo! Those ghosts will be a big hit at this year's Halloween.
Thank you. Thank you. But their movement still needs work. It's not scary enough. I want to.
Ironically, I was Jack Skellington one year for Halloween.
The doctor.
I definitely wanted to be Sally, but
Then I'll go attend to the decorations.
I never saw the movie, nor did I really care about the movie, but I mean, I was Jack Skellington one year for Halloween. A lot of fog. Who is smoking? Someone's getting lit la la in Nightmare Before Christmas Town. Aren't there other movies? There's like Nightmare Before Christmas, and then there's like they have like a spin-off or something. Maddie, there are just some things that, like, do we need to say? Like, what? $1993. Never saw Corpse Bride either. That motion, like, actually makes me so uncomfortable. If I had, like, I have a lot of fears, but if I had to make, like, a top 3, it would be stop motion, doctors, and the dark. Those are, like, my 3 can't stand. The ocean is definitely a second. I mean, a 4th. Then Very Toxic Hetman is a close 5th. I'm so lost already. We just got here. Okay, why can I went, okay. I hate this guy.
Maybe the guidance system was damaged in the explosion.
Nonsense. My devices are always perfect.
Oh, I've got it. Why, of course. The Heartless need a heart. Doctor, do you think we can add a heart to that device?
Certainly. A heart's not all that complicated. Let's get to work.
To make a heart, first take a container with a lock.
We need the key to this thing first.
Literally. Sora looks great. I love the way Sora looks in this world. Looks so cool.
My, that was amazing. And you are...
Sora.
Well done, Sora. I'd like you to be a part of this year's Halloween.
What's this Heartless doing here?
Oh, the Heartless came to town just recently. What's frustrating is I can't get them to dance with me. So, the doctor and I are trying to improve the guidance system. He's quite a genius. Okay,
no,
doctor,
he's not.
let's continue. The ingredients for a heart. Pulse. Emotion.
Don't you hurt that frog. Kill that fucking spider, not the frog.
Hope and despair. Mix them all together.
Bacon Rumpa.
And we have a heart.
Okay, literally, not to be rude, I don't know a lot about Nightmare Before Christmas, but I remember this doctor is a piece of shit. Like, fuck him. Like, I hate him. Didn't he, like, abuse Sally? Like, he was, like, so toxic to Sally. Like, kept her trapped inside.
Maybe we're missing some ingredients. Let's try.
Yeah,
adding
fuck
them.
this dude.
Sally? Sally! Good for nothing girl.
Shut the fuck up, man. You're an idiot man. You're a good-for-nothing man, you sack of shit. You're ugly. Take your glasses off and try to read then. Huh? Because I'll read you up and down, sir.
Sure.
Let me eat my chips. Jack is so tall. Jack is literally just a gay twink. Like, literally gay Twitter. Bottoms be like, top me king, and then they're 6'7". Like this guy. Hanging over the bed frame.
Jack! Jack! We have a major crisis! The Heartless are completely out of control! We can't stop them!
Maybe our experiment triggered something. Everything will be fine, Mayor. You have nothing to worry about.
Sorry, these chips are so good. Comfort food. Yes, they're so fucking good, Flora. So fucking good. Woo! I've never felt more alive! A good height representation would be Sora is the size of Steel, and then I think if you were to do like measurements like 4, 7, like Steel is like really short and then Jewel is really tall, or like the tallest in the community. So, like, this would be the measurements. My tongue is on fire. Fuck. Fire fuck. Firefox. Fire fuck. Alright, I needed caffeine. Like, bad. Where are we going? Oh, we have to fight. And we have to go to the graveyard. Can we just go there? I will say, if I wasn't uncomfortable with Nightmare Before Christmas, I would say Jack Skellington is really hot. I would let him literally do anything he wants to me, but you know. We're gonna move past that. I like the way he carries himself, from what I know. Very confident. Very like, I'm that bitch. It's kind of sexy. Did I lie? How do you get around the issue he has no lips? Well, he's got a pair of lips between somewhere. I can just go blah, 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 blah. I'm sorry. Or he can use my lips, baby. Or we can draw him on. You know, use some makeup on Jack Skellington. Just pretend. I wish I still had the costume. I wonder if I would fit. I would definitely not fit in it, but it'd be funny. Oh, I love this guy.
Zero, have you seen Sally anywhere?
I almost threw up. Not at you, Sally. Oh my god. So sorry.
Great. We're going to have the best Halloween ever. All we need now is your memory.
Memory? You mean this?
She's so hot. Love her.
Jack, I have a bad feeling about this. Why don't you try something else? There's still time.
Nothing could beat what I've got planned. Once we give the Heartless a heart, they'll dance just as I envision it. Trust me, you're going to love it.
Oh, it's the kids. I'm in the media tab, Chalora.
Yeah, I sure did. A heart.
I remember Deer did a look inspired by these three and had a really cool mask of the one on the right. It's a while ago though. I think it was 2 Halloweens ago. It was like really long ago when I first started talking to Deer. Ew, oh, childhood trauma just like growing up.
I'll be jiggered. That works for me. Ooh, when I get my hands on that, well, I've got no hands, but I'm still gonna nab that heart and control the heartless.
My titties hurt. Wait, is the end of the game after this world? Oh. Oh, there is? Okay. Oh, okay, perfect. But I think if we stream tomorrow, I won't be streaming this because I'm waiting for a costume for the final world. And that's, maybe we'll go back to Scooby-Doo tomorrow. Yeah, we'll do Scooby-Doo tomorrow. Who is that? My chat is stuck. I hate that about Twitch sometimes. Thank you so much for the raid! Is this a Fen raid? Yes, thank you. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Hello, everybody. Welcome in, raiders. If you do not know me, I am Nemesis. I run the network here every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm a drag queen variety streamer that plays a lot of retro, Nintendo 64, Wii, GameCube, PS2, PS3. Lots of retro stuff here on the channel. But I'm in drag every stream and would love to have you. But thank you all so much for the follows. Welcome in. How we doing? How was the stream? What was going on over there? Tell me all about it. Make sure we're following them back because they shared their community with us. I'm so thankful. Oh, I love your TikTok. Ah! Thank you. Thank you for sharing your community with us. I really appreciate it. I honestly have been trying to get in the habit of posting a lot of clips because I know a lot of us drag queens on TikTok, the one like on Team Stream Queens, you get more bang for your buck if you keep posting. So I've been trying to get in the habit of keeping it lively. Because I've been slacking lately. But thank you! Yeah, we're currently playing Kingdom Hearts. Excited, loving the journey so far, except for this world, because for me, stop motion in Nightmare Before Christmas was a huge fear of mine as a kid, so my childhood trauma is like, please get out of this world immediately. But welcome in, everybody. So happy to have you. Oh, if you're coming off the raid, if you can help our analytics by refreshing the stream if you like, if you can. No worries if you can't, if you're like laying in bed and relaxing. But I would really appreciate it. Do these just non-stop spawn I think they non-stop spawn. I'm out of here. Where's the mayor? Well, funny story, so I've done this world before, but I usually would stop after the Ursula fight because I would always rage quit as a kid. It was so difficult, but we did it for the first time a couple minutes ago. We beat Ursula for the first time. I haven't played a lot of 2, but I know what happens in 2. In 3, I finished as soon as it came out last year, I think it was. Did Kingdom Hearts 3 not win Game of the Year? Wait a minute. I never even thought of that. I'm wiping off my titty contour. I'm so sorry. But Toy Story and Monsters, Inc. are in 3, so those are some of my favorite movies of all time. I do have some looks planned for 3 when we get to 3. Hopefully they'll be super cute. Yeah, I've been trying to do like some looks, like some little loose cosplays, some looks inspired by Disney characters while we play this. I really want to get Tinkerbell. I think that'd be so cute to do a Tinkerbell look. It definitely, I remember, I mean, I had a great time. I feel like you would like it. It wasn't bad, but for the price point, I know it's kind of scary to look at it and you're like, because honestly, like, prices are so steep nowadays. Like, nothing goes down from $60 and it's like, Jesus. Can I get a break? Where did Mayor go? Hi, Lily. Happy to see you. Oh, is the mayor in here? Probably. Whose house is this? I remember is this Jack's house? This is Jack's house, right? No idea about the movie. This is Jack's? Okay. If anybody has a tutorial or anything pulled up, because I want to get out of this world immediately, because I hate this, but, yeah. Thank you for the follow. Love this look. Thank you. I thought about doing some drag makeup today, because I haven't really been doing a lot. I just want to have fun with makeup, you know? Wait. We get a new key. Oh, that's so cute! Look at it! Oh, you can't see it. It's behind my big head. These are the keys we have so far. This is the default. This is from Tarzan. That's actually really cool looking. That is from... This is from Atlantis. Really cute. Oh, the Peter Pan one! It's so tiny and cute. I love it. I love it. Hi, Vox. Thank you so much. Oh, it's pretty. I love green. I want to change my aesthetic to, like, not pink and stuff anymore. I want to just be, like, a plant mom that drinks wine. Green everything. Like, I want to be, like, Poison Ivy of Twitch. Like, ugh. That's what I want to make my brand. Hi, Lilac! Well, like I said, Marshall, you can get the ones for the PS4 that are cheaper, the remake. Yeah, they are new to PC. I think the whole collection on PC is $200, but that's because it's new to PC. Like this, I have all 5 games on one disc. Let me get the thing. This was pre-owned Kingdom Hearts 1.5 and 2.5 remix Oh, the room mix. And it was $27.99. And you can get good deals on this at like GameStop and stuff. But this has like all of the different worlds in it. I mean, this has all of the different games in it. It has like Dream Drop, all that stuff. And it's also the remaster, so it's not ugly. I love the green key, it's so pretty. Do they have any other... We need to get new weapons for Goofy and all of them, because they keep dying really quick. Well... Here's a story. Well, here's... Can we discuss this? Can we discuss this? Why isn't Sora in Smash, is my question. Maybe he's the 6th fighter? I would buy it. But it's like... Why is he not? They have Sephiroth, which is Final Fantasy, but why isn't Sora in? Sora's been so requested for so many years for Smash. I think it would be a great addition to Smash. I'm like, why haven't they added him? I think it's very weird. But also, are they gonna add another DLC? Like, are they gonna add more DLC characters? Sakurai said he's done. Oh, he's done. Done making, DLC packs. But it's like, why would you stop if people are gonna buy it? Like, why would you stop at, you know? We already have Wario. So true. Like, I could just stare at that dumpy all day. Is that a dead body? Okay, moving on. What was that? Can you do it again? I missed it. What was that? I think that's the ingredient we needed. I feel like I'm gonna get copyrighted. Sorry, I have to cut the music. I just realized. The way I'm gonna end stream and then this is gonna get muted immediately after. So I try to install the VODs immediately. But last time it was done in seconds. It was muted in seconds. Yeah, the music is I would let Jack fuck me so good. I'm so sorry. Anyways.
There you go. This time it's sure to work.
Sorry, it's not funny. There's so many hot characters in this game. There's Tarzan, Leon, Triton, Jack, Peter Pan, there's so many more. Cloud. Like, every world so far has had, like, a very sexy, like, male character. And it's like they're just, oh, Hercules! Ooh. I'm sorry, but like, my like, I know, oh, I'll be quiet.
Zero! After them, quick!
Now, okay, I was gonna say something, but, you know, I've been very H-word today, so I'll just be quiet. What is that? The tub? The tub walking? Walk for me. You better serve, yes, tub. The tub does a split like Laganja on All Stars. Speaking of splits, I've never had a banana split. I've heard bananas aren't that good. Who needs a banana when you have... Never mind. Wait, that's so cute. Look at the cat statue. Oh my god, that's Mia. Look at it's the angry face. It's Mia. How do I get over to that area? Oh wait, it's over there. How do I get over there? Unrelated, I would give anything for... Who is that? Sorry. If you gave me, like, what they were in, I would probably know who they are. I'm gonna look them up. Oh, then I don't know who that is. Did you see, speaking of Drag Race, did you see that they spoiled the elimination for Drag Race España? They posted the elimination spoiler like 3 days early. I'm not gonna say who it is, but they posted it by accident. I know they're blocked. Yeah. Someone was like, the gay intern with these schedule posts is just rotting. Yeah, I was kind of upset it didn't get tagged as a spoiler because someone was like, oh my god, XYZ gets eliminated on this week of Drag Race España. And I was like, come on, y'all, please. But the trailer for this week, a lot of them are crying, and I'm like, oh my god, are we okay? Like, everybody's sobbing. I'm like, oh, alright. Where are we supposed to go? Stan Inti. I'm an Inti Stan. And Hugasio. Stan Hugasio. And I actually really like Arantxa. Spanish Hannah Montana. She's like really funny online and like, or they're really funny online. Excuse me, please forgive me. What is that? I mean, like, I think they realized, like, what I really don't like on Drag Race is an ego. Like, someone that's like, my looks were a serve, and then it's like, no, girl, you were in a bang piece and a t-shirt. You know what I mean? I think they, like, realized that they faulted, and they did their looks a lot better, like, after the race. You know what I mean? Like, they posted, like, better outfits. And, like, practiced, like, their makeup and stuff. Which, like, I mean, we all have journeys, but, like, I hate when someone's like, I stand by my look and blah, blah, blah. And you're like, no, you really, no. No. And if Arantxa is an IMHO stan, so am I, and I'm also an Arantxa stan. I think I'm saying it wrong, but, you know. Anybody who stands IMHO is a friend of me. I'm glad Drag Race España is doing better than Down Under. Like, a lot better. Like, jeez. What a car fire Down Under was. Thank God Kidda saved it. I look away. I think about the talent show a lot. A top 5 talent show where Miss Redacted from Finance comes out and blows up a balloon. A singular balloon. Okay, where am I going? That's interesting that you could just skip this world if you do Atlantis first. I love Sora's design in this world. Like, so cool. Marshall, can you dress up like that? Okay, there's apparently an entrance. There's apparently an entrance that we're missing. I'll give him something he can put between his cheeks. I'm so sorry. You literally prompted that. That is your fault. You did this! You are nasty tonight. Nasty girl. That's a Cameron Michaels lip sync. That one was for you, Mia. Wait, there's something right here. There's like an entrance. Okay, Jesus Christ. Uh-oh, the experiment may be finished, but the quest is far from over. Follow the heart. Luckily, 0 points the way. Go to the boneyard, to the graveyard. Take the passage on the left. A big grinning statue. Oh, it's next to the burst pumpkin, so it's in the other area. Oh my god, if Cameron's a lip sync assassin, I'll gag. Love them. I honestly love them. Oh, we have to go in. We have to go through Mia. Thank you, Mia. Dita Ritz needs to be a lip sync assassin. Immediately. If Dita Ritz is an assassin, I will fart. I don't know. I love Dita Ritz. I have been saying for months, for years, that I want Dita Ritz and Jaden Dior Fierce on All Stars, whatever. It needs to happen immediately. How could you not love Jaden? Jaden would get great, like, love and support if they were on All Stars. I feel like they'd get an edit similar to Raja. Because they're just great drag and great personality. And they were really done dirty in Season 7 with the conjoined queens thing. Like, how was Jaden supposed to... Like, their partner was 10 times taller than them. And Jaden's short. What were you supposed to do for that challenge? And looked nothing like each other. So it's like, okay. And then in the lip sync, I'm sorry, I'm such a Jaden stan. And then in the lip sync, Jaden had to... Why did they make them lip sync with their partners? Like, let them get out of the costume, Gorge, and have Tempest and Sasha stand in the back, Frisbee Jenkins, in a robe or something. Like, why were they... Oh my god, it made me so mad. Because Jaden would have probably would have out lip synced Ginger. It's Paul's fault. It always is. Stupid man. Sorry, that was mean. Stupid man thing! Oh, sorry, I mentioned Lady D. I'm so sorry, Mia. How many enemies do I have to fight? Jesus. I'm levitating. I'll take the EXP, it's fine. This will probably be the last world before I end. LR. Maybe I'll do Hollow Bastion and then leave the final world, and then we'll end Kingdom Hearts 1 with... what should I do? Should I end after this one, or should I do Hollow Bastion and then leave the last world and then we start 2? Not really sure. What is that? I don't know what that means. I get in the tub.
I knew Oogie Boogie was behind this.
I don't, maybe we will. If it's really requested, then maybe we will. But I want to get through 1, 2, and 3 first. I'm doing my pee-pee dance. The way I just imagined Gray screaming, like I just imagined Gray like being very quiet in the corner, and then, oh my god. Thank you, Gray, for 5 gifted subs. I appreciate you so much. Oh, thank you, sweetie. You are the best. Thank you for your generosity. I was just imagining you in the corner of the room, like just being very quiet, like eating chips, and then like you're like, so true, and then like throwing money. Thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 subs. I really appreciate it. We're at like, I think 7 out of 10. Oh my god. I really just fell all the way down, huh? Oh. I get in the tub. Oh. I have to get rid of that command, but, you know. Oh, I get in the tub. Do I get to ride the tub around? I ride my tub around. Hot tub streamer. I could do a hot tub stream this summer because we actually have a hot tub outside. That's what that's when I could probably do a hammock and a hot tub stream. But I do need to figure out like my camera situation. I need to use the restroom. I'm so sorry. I'm doing the pee-pee dance. How do people with like normal bladders stream? Like, I literally have to pee like every 5 minutes. Like, do I just have a really small bladder? Or is it because I'm drunk and drank a lot of wine? Anyways. Hey. Okay, but like, how do energy drinks work? Nope, that's not what I wanted to say. But that is a conversation. I didn't mean to say that. I was gonna say, how does pee work? Like, isn't pee technically your toxins? Like, it's your body. Like, okay, we're having a serious conversation. This isn't me being weird, but like, doesn't pee, like, isn't it like your body filtering out the toxins? And like, it puts it into like a pee kind of shape, and then you piss it out to get rid of like the bad stuff in your body? Isn't that right? I'm a scientist. There's a science. So everybody, I say something very intelligent and everybody goes, a pea shape? Yeah!
See ya.
Oh, Sora, you big fuck. Yeah, like what? We're not gonna pee out like a square. You pee out in a cylinder shape. I know what I said. Where are we? Like, where am I right now? Am I high? Are you high? More or less, right? Thank you. I did very well in science in high school. That is a joke. I failed science 3 times. I was a senior in a class of freshmen in my science class. Anyways, very embarrassing. My trauma is coming back. Don't look at me, ugly fucking kids. My joint slay of being with the freshmen as a senior in a science class. It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. That is so sad. It's not funny. I'm so sorry. I just saw the nose of the person on the right and it just reminded me of Trinity Taylor. Anyways. Big fucking nose. Nobody clipped that. I didn't say anything. I thought I was the big girl till your nose walked in, bitch. The kid just standing there is sending me. Stares at you. Poses. Why is she just staring at the wall? You good? Can I? Isn't that just what happens when you sit on someone's face? Okay, this is going somewhere and doesn't need to go, but... I think that's just what happens. Does it not? I'm a science. I know from experience. Been lots of hypotheses. The fuck is a hypothesis? Can I open this chest? This stream is off the rails! There's literally never a stream that I'm not vulgar. I should just change my name to Vulgar Network. The inappropriate network. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at something that I should not say on the line. Okay. We're moving on. I'm 5 years old, I swear. I'm literally like, I have the humor of a 5-year-old. Like, haha, poopy! So funny! So fucking funny! Sorry. I'm lightheaded after that one. Where is the door? Nobody say it. Ava, you know more than anyone. How dare you? Please stop making me laugh. I'm gonna start crying. I feel the tear ducts watering. Do people get their tear ducts removed? Could you just get that removed if you wanted? Like, yeah, just went in for my surgery to get my tear ducts removed because I wanted to just feel so quirky and so cool. Is that not an operation that a plastic surgeon could do for you? You gotta go back to the bottom. I have plenty of those in my DMs. Get what I'm saying? Haha. Oh, it's right there. That wasn't so hard to find. Torture chamber? What the fuck? The way he's standing there.
You want it? Well then come on over and get it. Now, let's see if I can get their attention. Oh, hi, boys!
No, P shape is not a rhombus. I've already had this discussion. It's a cylinder.
This is it?
Stop. 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 Seriously, stop. It's not funny. What the fuck was that? The way it kicked me off. Okay, I'm not very good at puzzles and shapes. Can we not do this? Can I skip this part of the game? You're lucky I'm even here giving you airtime, Oogie Boogie. Can we skip this? I could have skipped your world altogether, friend. Alright. Well, that is just not nice. Oh, hey. Will we one-cycle him? No, no, no. I'm one-cycling you. Get down here. Let's get our gambling freak on! Did you see my, albums for my, Spotify, and I made the... I am so mad Kakaguri doesn't have a season 3, and it's been 2 years. That is... They're kind of related, but the Lollipop Girl from Kakaguri is one of my album covers. Oh, am I supposed to go to, like... Oh, I'm supposed to match it up with where he's at. Okay. Oh, wait, I can rotate it? Oh, no. Oh, my God, there's guns! Sora just got fucking shot. This is so sick and twisted. Please don't hurt me. I beg. What's today's date? The 4th of July. So true. Can you just... Oh, I got him. Get him, girls! Fuck him up. What's happening? Oh, he just shit himself. Oh my. You're gonna need a diaper after that one. Can we step on it? Isn't Oogie Boogie just a giant roach? Sorry, that's not funny. What kind of Mario Kart map? Can we just walk away? Like, we can just exit. Like, we can just go. Oh my god, they're already shooting at me. This wasn't in the film. Lying to me on the live. Look, I'm good at parkour, so this is cake. Ooh, what's everybody's favorite cake? Mine, red velvet cake. I don't like cheesecake. Don't even ask me. I don't. I don't. Does carrot cake taste like carrots? Me too. Oh my. Hey, I'm just on your shoulder, buddy. So true. Oh, there was one up there. No. Is there one on your dumpy? Oh, there is. I see one. Fuck. Ooh, I love a monkey bread. Ooh, monkey bread is so good. Oh my god, my full health heal now? Jeesh. Is there one down there? Oh no, it's just purple. I think the last one is up top. Is there not one? Oh, ow! Oh, there's one right there, I see it. Please excuse me. Ooh, I love an Auntie Anne's. I could fuck up an Auntie Anne's. Auntie Anne's is so good. If you've never had Auntie Anne's, you need to go get it next time they're open. Go on Postmates, go on something. Auntie Anne's pretzels. So good. If I had to die tomorrow, what I would have is probably Auntie Anne's pretzels. If I would die tomorrow. If I could die tomorrow. I don't want to die tomorrow. But if I could, or if I was going to and I only had one meal left, it would be Auntie Anne's pretzels. Me too. What are we doing? What's going on here? Or just blowing up the moon? Oh, that's a giant hole. Good luck. I hope everything's good. I make sure you have somewhere to go just in case everything doesn't go well. But you're always happy here.
Why didn't
but I know that's obviously not in real life. But good luck.
Jack, we'll come up with another plan for Halloween. Next time.
Me and who? Just kidding. Never say me and who with them. If you say this is us, don't. Thank you so much for 17 months. How's, oh my god, how's Kazuha? I know exactly what House is gonna say. He's gonna be like, hanging out with Chi-Chi. Well, not, okay. The Genshin character. The way I knew you were gonna say it! Me and who, but it's Donald and Goofy. Do you think they're gay together, Donald and Goofy? Can Jack come with us? What's the... I want to see the Keyblade. Oh, that's pretty. Do people sell the Keyblades like little collectum items? Like, I would love to have like a charm set with all the Keyblades, like IRL. I'd buy it. I bet they exist somewhere. Oh, the fairy harp is the stronger one. If you were unaware, Chippendale are the people that run the gummy ship. They're like little engineers, which I think is really cute. I forgot to mention that in the last 2 streams. Not World War II, that. How old are Donald and Goofy? Like, when were they invented? You know what I mean? Like, when... Like, technically, how old would they be? Where's Sid? The Moogles, I love them! Oh, we got some more puppies! Let's go check on the Dalmatians before we end. I want to see how many we have. Look at all the Moogles! I love Moogles! Look at them! Oh, I love them. Oh, there's Sid. Let's go to the, I want to go see the Dalmatians. Ooh, if I did a Cruella look. Oh! My mind. I don't think she is, but she's a Disney character. Oh my god! Look at them! If you want to see me do that, you can tip me on Venmo. Because I have to buy the costumes, so would definitely appreciate it. But don't feel pressured. Look at the little puppy! It's the size of Sora's shoe. What size shoe is Sora? You're big. Did you know they're selling IMHO on their website? They're selling You're Big shirts. You're big. I want one so bad. Sora, please don't step on the puppy. Sora, please. Are you alright, sir? Anyways. I want to get the burgundy one. I think I look really good in burgundy. I wish I had more burgundy drag. Now I really want to do a Cruella look. I had a what? Remember when I did maroon? Yeah, maroon. I meant maroon. What's burgundy? Are they the same thing? I think they're the same thing. I had like, remember when I did the monster camp thing? I had a little like white extension that I could put on my black wig. I did look at it the other day and I was like, wow, I really snapped with that look, huh? So I wanted to post like a collage of like my Halloween stuff. Oh, good news, so we were unfortunately, I did have to cancel my stream yesterday. I was gonna be doing, Mid-Boss. I am part of Summer of Pride Mid-Boss 2021. We are gonna be streaming that on July 20th and July 27th. 2 very fun games, one of them being very requested from the chat. We're gonna be playing Gone Home on the 20th. And we're gonna be playing I don't know what the name of the other one is. You can check Minboss's website, but it's a really gay game, and there's a lot of hot guys in it that are shirtless. So I'm very excited to play that. It has a lot of reading, but worth it if the guys are sexy. So, very excited for that. We're gonna be raising money for charity. Our goal is $100 per stream for the charity we're providing for. I will do yellow lip, mushroom wig, sunglasses, take off my lashes, do spots on my face, anything to make myself look ridiculous to raise money for charity. But yeah, we're gonna be doing that. It'll be a fun time. I forget what we did last year for Midbot. We did, Red Strings Club was really sad. Very hard to play though. And what else did we play? I was in it for 2 streams as well. But I did unfortunately have to cancel my collaboration stream with Chalora for Monster Camp. But that's because I had my first shift at work. It was okay. I know I really haven't talked about it today, but it was just training. I have to fill out some paperwork, and I don't start my job until Wednesday. Possibly because our town is not opening big venues because COVID, but I think everybody there is vaccinated, hopefully. This is what I wanted to show y'all. See, this game has all of the games in it. So we could very well do Chain of Memories, whatever this is. Final Mix 2 of the second game. We're obviously doing that. Then there's Birth by Sleep and Recoded. So it has all the games in it. 6 games for $25 is pretty swag. So, I mean, this is definitely... We're definitely finishing 1. And then we're moving on to 2. Oh, look at Axel. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be such... You better cover your ears now when we start playing 2. Because Axel is just my childhood man's. I've never played the other ones. I've only heard stories. But at the end... Oh my god, Aqua! Bitch! I can't wait for us to meet